you can definitely see how it like really lifts off the dirt as I'm doing this. All right, so we're back after all the trials and the unboxing before that. Just wanted to give my final thoughts and conclusions for this product, whether it be something worth looking into. So, after considering for what it is, what it's capable of doing, I think it's something pretty cool. It's a cool idea with some things that are missing for me to really say, I really would like to, recommend this for everybody who's like detailing or even just like, going around the house to take care of their plants and stuff like that. I mean, I think those parts are definitely going to be very, very handy for, I feel. But when it comes to detailing, which I put that emphasis on for this case because it is built for that purpose as well. So I wanted to see if it really is something to detail with. As a detailing tool, it definitely does work. You can get work done with it, but you definitely need to know how you can use it, or you definitely need to know what you're doing with it, right? For the most part, I think this is great as a rinseless washing device, meaning you can definitely throw in some rinseless wash solution into the bucket itself and then just blast it off of all like the dirt, the grit, any filth that the car has. Definitely do the job, most of the time. Whereas, if your vehicle is like covered in mud and all this really nasty caked on stuff, then you need to actually bust out like a garden hose or even the actual pressure washer. But most vehicles that are like lightly dusty, or you wash the vehicle like every 1 or 2 weeks, you're on top of things, then you can use this device with the rinseless wash to blast off any dust or dirt and like that. Especially those big loose particles that have been sitting on the car for some time. I think that's where it really shines in that detailing aspect. But otherwise, if you were to just use this with water and try to rinse off the soap with this thing, it can do it, but it does struggle depending on what kind of soap you use. It really depends on how dirty the vehicle is as well. There is definitely that. And you can definitely find yourself having to fill up the water again just to get the remaining spots on the car to rinse off all that soap. So this is more for the rinseless washing than it is with your average sort of car washing traditional procedures. But otherwise, if you are going to use this more for like your bicycle or such other modes of transportation, you definitely can use that there, especially with the mountain bikes and stuff like that, where it does get really dirty and stuff like that. You can definitely use that, especially with the foam cannon that does come with it. You can definitely try that to get the bike clean, and it'll definitely shine there. You can definitely use this for the plants if you put it on the plant mode or the lowest setting, just so that you don't destroy your plants with the PSI and stuff like that. It also does have its uses when it comes to like camping and such like that. I mean, if you need to like rinse off something real quick and fast, it definitely will shine there as well. So overall, using the product itself, where it does excel in those areas, it was a pretty good experience. But otherwise, there are areas to improve upon for this product right here, which I also have it written down. I mean, first off, this is something I've countered with these sort of products, which is the replacement parts. I mean, what is it with these companies that make these products, these portable pressure washers, without even having replacement parts available. I mean, you don't have the parts for the lid, the hose, the gun, the tip, anything that could possibly break. There's not a replacement for it, especially with the hose. The hose definitely is going to be one of those first ones that I think will go, especially with all the dragging and the wear and tear that the hose will go through, especially all the kinking and the tangling and the twists and turns that it will experience throughout its lifetime. I think that will definitely be one of the first ones to go. And again, there's no replacement for that. So I feel like if it really does have these replacement parts, then this product will be a lot more worth to invest into, especially for those who don't really have the time to do any of the DIY projects to build themselves a portable pressure washer type of spray. So otherwise, yeah, I feel like that's where it falls apart, no pun intended, without its replacement parts. I do wish it does come with the vertical spraying options and even like a full spray for an option from this tip right here. Another thing I wanted to mention about the device right here is that I wish for the bucket to be able to be sealed more tightly. That way you can like store the liquid inside while you're moving around and stuff like that. Especially if you plan to take this and have some sort of like specific liquid that you want to carry with you, especially if you want to put it in your car, for example. That's going to be a little troublesome because this lid doesn't exactly hold that. So I just wish that it did have that ability, just for that extra little mile you can get out of this product when it comes to just the features alone. Yeah, because otherwise, as is, if you plan to put some liquid in there and then put the lid on it, it's gonna spill. So you're gonna be real careful with that. So either have some sort of like tightening mechanism with some sort of O-ring or some sort of like rubber seals or silicone seals, even better, to help seal that, or kind of forego this sort of square design and have a more of a round design, and then have like a screw cap kind of design to help seal it even better. And then you probably don't even need the rubber seals. All you have to do is just have it threaded and be able to twist it in and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty nice of a feature there. But despite that, overall, it was a pretty fun and interesting product to use. The gun actually felt pretty decent to hold Willis, spraying and stuff like that. There is some thought put into this design, but otherwise, to some people, this might come off like a novelty product. Maybe it is a little too niche to be just thrown into the mass market, and people will just be like, "Oh man, I need this," or anything like that. Otherwise, when it comes to like those really niche uses, it does excel in that. But it all really comes down to knowing what you're going to be doing with it. I think it does play a big part of it. If you know you're going to an area where water is limited and you kind of need to carry some water with you to, let's say, like plant certain plants that are like too far away from a water source or something like that, or, well, again, a bicycle or some sort of smaller vehicle of some kind, that definitely does excel there. Anything that calls for portable water, then this is the unit to kind of look into. The battery does have a pretty decent life. It does have, I think, a total of 50 minutes, but it definitely depends on what kind of setting you're running on. But yeah, because otherwise, if you run it on the most powerful setting the whole entire time, then you'll have a maximum of 20 minutes on the battery here. One other note that I found kind of interesting, and I think they need to fix, is some of the claims that they have on their website, on the Amazon page, more specifically. They claim that this product can do, the 20 liters per minute distribution. I think that's a bit of a stretch. As someone who has tried another portable pressure washer, I think this is more of like a 0.6 GPM type of portable pressure washer, because otherwise 20 liters per minute means you're doing about 5 gallons per minute, which is not the case here. This is not a 5 gallon per minute type of device. Otherwise, you're gonna see some water coming out of the thing, if you know what I'm saying. All right, we're back with the device right here after trying it for at least like actually like a couple of times. I've really wanted to test this, especially from a more of a detailing perspective. And I can say overall, it does have a niche place in my arsenal anyway. This is definitely going to be more of like a rinseless washing type of device here. This does a pretty good job holding the rinseless wash liquid or solution, I should say, and simultaneously apply rinseless wash and blast off all the loose grit and dirt off of the vehicles that I've tested on. Really does a really good job there. Although it definitely depends on how dirty the vehicle is, it may take more than 3 gallons of product to sufficiently and safely rinse off your vehicle with the rinseless wash. Otherwise, if you plan to use this with like a traditional sense, like using a snow foam on your vehicle and then try to rinse it with this, you'll have a harder time to do so, just because it just lacks that GPM to get all the soap off proficiently. So you can get away with it for sure, but it'll take a longer time and probably more than 3 gallons of water that this bucket is capable of holding. You may want to refill up the bucket. So that's why I rather just use this in a more rinseless procedure than a traditional car soap procedure. But that's like the detailing perspective anyway. You can definitely use this more than just a detailing tool. You can definitely use this for like your plants at a lower setting, of course. You don't want to put on too much PSI, otherwise you'll destroy your plants. You can definitely use this for your bike, especially if you have your foam cannon, the little foam cannon with you. Definitely can use it there to sufficiently wash off your bike or any smaller, much smaller vehicles, not like a car, but like a bicycle or mountain bike or anything similar to that sort of device or product or mode of transportation, excuse me. My overall experience, if I haven't said it already, is that it is pretty good for what it is. It will cover those sort of niche uses. It'll definitely be able to, carry water or whatever liquid to where you can take it to places where you have limited source of water. Like let's say, you have a big backyard and your garden hose won't be able to reach there. This is where it kind of shines. You can definitely water your plants or do some little small house cleaning around the house, and blast off some loose dirt or anything like that, with ease. And again, this is pretty good for cars, especially if you are on top of your maintenance washing. So and again, it definitely does really do a good job with rinseless washing, if anyone knows about rinseless washing. So during the actual use of the device is pretty good. I thought the gun was, it felt all right in the hands. Opening up the bucket and everything was very easy to do. The tip and everything worked flawlessly. So I'll definitely give it that. But this is where my sort of criticisms will come in for this device, or these types of devices. And I've encountered it but once before, and it's just a lack of the replacement parts. I mean, these companies need to look into having abundant parts available, especially with the hose. The hose is going to be one of the first things that it's going to break especially with all the wear and tear, the moving around, the the whipping and the lashing and the twists and turns and all the ways to beat up this hose will definitely happen. And especially if it'll kink, that many times, it's gonna break, it's gonna pop, and it's gonna render the entire device useless because of how self-proprietary it is, unfortunately, unless they make more of these parts, including the gun, including especially the hose, and then the tip, and then maybe there's even this lid right here, because I feel like this lid can crack at one point as well. That's my 2 cents on that, and probably the biggest flaw for these types of devices, and that's why investing into these types of devices makes it a little more difficult, because you don't have that long-term sort of backing for these types of devices. Another thing I wish to see is, these tips right here don't really provide a vertical spray pattern, nor some sort of like the full setting on these tips, like your typical garden hose sort of gun like this does. I really just wish this had more options besides just like a 20 degree, 0 degree, 20 with the down angle, and a 40 degree, all horizontal. I just wish it had more options, more just things on these spray tips. Another sort of design improvement I would like to see is with the lid and the bucket. So they don't exactly tighten up and seal the liquid inside. So if you just put the lid on as is with the liquid inside, it's gonna splosh around if you're not too careful. And maybe that's not what it's intended for, and that's fine. But I just wish that it was able to seal up and tightly store the liquid whilst you're moving around from place to place around your house or whatever. Because otherwise, for something being portable, I think it would just make sense to have the capability of tightly sealing the water or whatever liquid you want to carry around and such like that. So maybe perhaps some sort of like locking mechanism with the silicone seals to help do that. Yes, that would require to go back to the drawing board a little bit, but I think if they can like put the time and effort into that part too, that'll definitely, help make more of this device like be useful. I know, and this might be a real stretch right here for a design improvement, but have some sort of like twist sort of locking mechanism. So like, have it threaded, and then you can like twist and turn to open and close the bucket. So that way you can really, tighten up and seal whatever liquid is inside. But that definitely does require an overhaul on this device right here. Other than that, though, I think as a portable pressure washer, quote unquote, it does a good job in those niche areas. But because of how niche it is, it's not gonna exactly win, most people over. But for people who actually go out a lot with like your bikes, or really like their plants a lot, that are like somehow far away from their house, in the backyard or whatever, or any like specific situation that requires portable water carrying, I think this does shine. But if you think about the price, it does fluctuate between $140 and $180. That's another thing about this device. And if taking that into mind, you really have to think: do I really need this? Are there better options out there? So that's why you gotta think about what you're competing with. You gotta understand what other devices are out there or what other options are available, in order for it to kind of like weigh its worth amongst those devices. So that's another thing as well. So it is a little difficult to say that I can highly recommend this device or not. But if if you are planning to pick up a portable pressure washer, and if you don't feel like building one yourself, or you don't really have the time, or you're not exactly capable of doing so, then this might be something to look into. Yes, it does perform. It does have the PSI to do a number of things, and it is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool device when everything else is working. But once this hose goes out, then the device is out. So that's like a very similar thing I had with another device. So anyways, that's really all I have right here. That's my experience and 2 cents on the Kaiweets pressure washer. But whenever it does work, great. It's absolutely great. But the overall worth and value gets weighed quite a bit from the lack of replacement parts and just other competitors out there. It's definitely a little difficult to say. So anyways, that's all I have. Thank you very much. It's been my experience with this device. I did have a good time with it. I will definitely say. So definitely up to you guys. What do you guys think on this device right here? I mean, it definitely does have its uses, very niche, but it does have its uses. But it does have room for improvement as well. So any comments below are welcome. I definitely will read them. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. It really helps out, and I do appreciate it. So this has been my video for reviewing the Kaiweets portable pressure washer right here. Pretty nifty. I like it. Yes, it does collapse and stuff like that. It is living up to the portable name and all that stuff with flying colors. But it's really a matter of do I need this, and what are the other competitors are like on the market right now. So anyways, thank you very much, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Sean out. And thank you to the people at Kaiweets for providing me the device and the opportunity for me to experience said device right here.